first of all, I'm going to say congratulations. You've been very busy. You've been
thank you.
You've been doing a lot of talks. You've been doing a lot of conversations. You've been having, and guys, those of you who haven't subscribed to Holy Humanist yet, please do it. There is another video. I think you had a little talk in an undisclosed location with
undisclosed being the operative word. Yeah.
Sorry, with CEMB. Now I think it's sorry, this one. There you go. So you spoke about
pandemic,
whatever issues and everyone is noticing that you are very well spoken, well presented, and I think this is the same place where I had my chat as well, probably a few weeks or a month earlier. And you spoke there for about an hour. You spoke from the women's point of view. So guys, do check it out. For that, you need to go and subscribe to Holy Humanist. You can also join her channel as well. There you go. It's just showing me, I don't know which currency that is. So you can go and have a look at that one. And please do support. I think you are getting some. There you go. Someone disliked it. There you go. I balanced it.
Oh,
liked it.
That's actually one of the first dislikes. So that's actually good. It means now I'm actually getting some haters in the game.
Yeah, there's only one dislike. But even by that point, I mean, this is very well done that you only got one dislike.
No, so that means I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, well, no, not really. Maybe you're doing it so well that even your haters can't hate you.
Haters always don't hate. But yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
So there is a link in the description for that as well. The other thing, you actually spoke with our prophet, AP.
Yes.
There is that interview there with Apostate Prophet, 34,000 views so far. And, he's very organized. So he's turned that into chapters. And you spoke there for about an hour and a half. How was that experience? Obviously, I saw some comments again. It was a lot of people liked it, and he got a lot less dislikes than normal. That's another thing as well. So how do you're obviously being very busy. How was that experience?
Yeah, it's been pretty back-to-back, to be honest. Speaking to AP was one of the big ones because, as I said to him on his live stream, he's definitely one of the gentle giants of the ex-Muslim movement. And it was, honestly, I had a little bit of a fangirl moment because I have learned so much from him. His videos are exceptional. But yeah, it was so interesting. We had a very, very productive conversation. And from what I've seen on both sides, the feedback has been so positive. So I really, really appreciate the fact that people said it was one of the most kind of enlightening conversations they've heard in relation to Islam, and particularly a woman's perspective. Again, when you just see comments like that and it's really resonating with people, it just pushes you to do more and more. So yeah, it was a really, really fun conversation with AP. If you haven't checked it out, please do. But yeah.
And this is all, we're still going. This is all in a week.
God, how busy have I been?
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to talk about. And our very own John Riches, you spoke with him yesterday as well. There's a whole 1 hour conversation there as well. And you spoke about your journey. Obviously, him asking these questions from a Western man's point of view. And that went well as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. That was really good, again, because I'm really trying to keep my channel and my interactions as diverse as possible. Speaking to John was actually really, really interesting from just, we had more of a UK British kind of perspective added to it, and he was asking questions. I think their audience, a lot of them weren't Muslim, so they, there was some things that we really, really unpacked. So yeah, I hope people learned from it. He was really, really fun to talk to as well. And I'm sure you're going to keep seeing these people kind of popping up here and there. In collaborations, but I'll also be having, the busyness does not end here, people. I'll also be interviewing an ex-Muslim with a very, very interesting story. Again, extremely diverse background, grew up in the Middle East, actually underwent a sex change. So that will be a very interesting story. And also I'm trying to get more ex-Muslim Caribbean voices on my channel. So that's something in the pipeline, and maybe a bit of fun, kind of dropping in some spoken poetry from ex-Muslims and things like that. So yeah, there should be a lot of fun things happening, guys. Keep your eyes out on the channel. And I do apologize, Haris, I'm slowly waking up because that conversation with John was quite late last night, and then there was a boxing match with Anthony Joshua, and I don't really follow it, but it was a big deal yesterday, and he's a beautiful specimen to look at. So that went on till quite late. So I'm just recovering from all of that. But yes,
right.
I'll wake up slowly.
Okay, well, so guys, so links to both the interviews are in the description. I will add once you go to Holy Humanist, you'll actually see her talk that she gave in CEMB as well. That's a very profound talk as well. I think very emotional for some people. Somebody wanted to hug you afterwards or something. Some lady, and
it was just because we see such few women at these events, even the ones that I've managed to actually go to. And I was addressing women, but I realized there was like a handful in the crowd. But the ones that were there, even straight after the conversation, we bonded right away. But the audience is really intimate, and you can tell that what you're saying is really resonating with them. So yeah, this one particular lady did have tears in her eyes, and she just came up and hugged me afterwards. And we're in touch now, so the community is just growing. It turns into a friendship, then you kind of there supporting each other through the rest of your journey after Islam, because there's still a lot of things affecting people. She was specifically from an Arab background, so there's things that are still lingering, in terms of family, and just to kind of have a support system here in the UK. I think as more and more women come to these events and we kind of build up our network, it's just good for us in general. But yeah, it was pretty emotional, but I'm glad you appreciated it, and I hope everyone else will as well.
Yeah, they will. And guys, please become her member. Have you set up your Patreon yet or not?
I haven't. No, as you can see, I've been a bit busy.
you need to set up Patreon as well, because obviously people would want to support you, and I think it's very important. It is a little bit of a boost that we get. It's a sign of support. So guys, do subscribe to Holy Humanist. Do watch out her content, and she'll be putting out a lot more on the channel as well. Let's just take a call from Share. Very quickly. What would you like to say?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please hurry up.
Hello, Haris bhai. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Hello, Nuya.
Hi.
So my first question is the same, which I asked you and Galib. How did she join the bandwagon? The Satan ki Fauj karegi Maud. And I must say she's the poshest face I have seen in your shows. So what made you join this bandwagon? And when did you join this? And what else did you do? That's one. Second, sorry, carry on.
Very quickly. Oh, that's a funny name. Someone gave me Haris Snailton.
Is that the first time you've seen it? That's been going around Twitter for a while
now. That's actually funny. I like it.
It is. I cracked up.
That's funny. Good one, guys. Good one. Okay. Daniel Ongol Hakikachi was still better, but anyway. Sorry, I think that question was directed at you, but I'm just saying that please subscribe to Nuria's channel. She's actually uploaded videos as a story multiple times. But how would you answer?
I think obviously I'm very new to this space, but it basically all just started with when stuff kicked off in the UAE, and then I realized what had happened to me, and I became ex-Muslim. My only outlet was essentially the internet. So I had to obviously realize there are people out there saying the same things to me for me to know I'm not going crazy, because around me everybody is still a Muslim deep down. And then I think I just connected with Haris. I did some interviews, and I realized, this is actually a unique story, and there is a bit of a gap when we're dealing with relating to Pakistani ex-Muslim women in general. So I thought that because I'm safe, obviously as safe as one can be in the West, and I'm not getting that much backlash, and I have a voice, and I should use it, that I need to speak up for the women that don't have a voice around the world, and the ones that are subject to these Islamic laws, and they have no way to kind of counter that. And in the West, their voices aren't going to reach this far, because I've lived in the ground in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. I kind of have a little bit of a understanding about how things and laws work, even in the GCC. I've traveled around the Middle East to Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan, all these countries. So I think my reach is a bit more diverse in nature. That's why I think in terms of joining the bandwagon, I just realized, it's high time we have more ex-Muslim women joining the force. And I kind of just started that way. But yeah, besides that, I have a law and economics degree, and I want to qualify as a solicitor in the UK, so I'm working towards that as well. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, another question again for Haris or me or anybody else, we being men, I think it's comparatively easy, but how did it go for you? Didn't you face any challenge from your family or your relatives? Because obviously you're on I would say, on the TV now, as I would call it, because YouTube is accessible, right? So they can see you and they know your thoughts now, obviously. So how is it easy? Is it for you? For that's one. And second, when you say you have been through all these countries, obviously these are Muslim countries, if I put it that way. What do you think is the women's perspective? Are they? Do you think they are so religious as I hear, as they are in Muslim countries, or they just want to open themselves to a different society or ideas?
Well, to address your second question first, I think a lot of the countries, like, it really depends on from country to country. Like, I've seen Lebanon is a lot more liberal. Like, women there don't really want to like be covering up, and they don't take it that seriously. They're a lot more into like kind of the Western projection of their identity. You know, they're happy to wear dresses. They love enhancing their looks, putting dressing up and going out and kind of just being free, liberated women. And I think that speaks to each country's history, and like that was like the French influence as well has really toned down some of the way that they view life. Then you go to Jordan, and they're a little bit more conservative in general. But again, country to country, it differs. But a lot of the time when women are doing it to the extent where they're living life entirely Islamically and they're constantly covered up, it is because the country is forcing that down their necks to a certain extent. The countries that kind of give more room to not wear or not be kind of looked at if you are from that Arab country, but you're not covered up, they give women the room to kind of dress how they want and stuff. They will take that. It's only the ones who are very, very, either they really strongly believe, or their husbands or their families or their view of what the state requires from them are the ones who kind of hold on to Islam more. So you see that in the UAE, the women who do wear abaya and hijab are a lot more conservative. And then when you go to countries like Jordan and Lebanon, Egypt, you get a nice mix. But again, Egypt, if you go to the rural societies, they're so conservative. These women have internalized misogyny. They really truly think they need to wear hijab. They think they should be beaten by their husbands. They think their husbands have the right to beat them. Yeah, it's so sad. There's actually a documentary which Noal al-Sadawi covers going to these rural countries, and you can check surveys as well in Egypt. And these women genuinely believe in Sharia, but I don't think they know fully what Sharia means. But they say there's questions like, do you think you should be obedient? And they all say yes. Do you think your husband has the right to beat you? Yes, they agree. Do you? And they don't believe they have a right to an education. And then a mother passes that on to her daughter, and it's the same kind of thing. But then countries that have a slightly more wealth, even Jordan, they've got very, very incredible international baccalaureate schools. Their level of education is higher. Same thing with Lebanon. American University of Beirut produces some incredible graduates. So they have a little bit more of a focus on education, which I think is great. So I think it differs country to country. And even within the UAE, for example, there's differences. Abu Dhabi is a lot more conservative. So the Emirati women in Abu Dhabi won't be okay with seeing as much as Emirati women in Dubai, for example, are willing to put up with when they see people in bikinis on the beach and, you know, women living their normal kind of Western lives, holding drinks, chilling with men. Maybe they'll turn a blind eye. But in Abu Dhabi, maybe a woman would take more offense to that. And it's a lot more of a family conservative feel. Sharjah is even worse. You can't even do these things there. So it kind of differs across the board. But yeah, and in terms of backlash from family or whatever, it is more just that I have extended family who is very conservative. So I'm honestly rolling with the fact that they're not going to be looking into this because they're so happy and content in Islam. Unless they're looking for arguments to debunk Islam or anything, they won't access this area of YouTube, which is what I'm hoping. But besides that, my actual immediate family they're quite liberal and progressive. So they don't agree with me at all, but they know that they don't have the right to silence me. So we've kind of met at like a nice coexisting equilibrium.
Shay, we got to wrap it up. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.